Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Join us for the latest in news, views, and conversation with community leaders. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well-Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Now, put your finger on the Pulse of Spokane.
Welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. Kent Adams here. I hope you're having a great day. You will if you watch our program. We've got some great guests. Stay tuned.
This is Looms Day in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Blooms Day.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate, but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Blooms Day wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
Well, welcome back. I'm pleased to have a couple of great guests here today. It's a wonderful program. It's the Hutton Settlement. They're celebrating their centennial. And for those of you who don't have enough fingers on your hands and toes, that's 100 years. And we're shooting this today with Jessica, Brianna, and Chud from Hutton Settlement. Well, you're from Civic Theater. You're the kind of the oddball, aren't you? But there's a reason you're here, and we'll talk about that. But we are in the Hutton Building in downtown Spokane at the Hutton Building branch of STCU. And why are we here, Jessica?
So our founder, Levi Hutton, after striking it rich in northern Idaho in the mine, they moved over in 1906. And built the Hutton Building where we're at. Right. So this fourth floor area, which originally was the top floor.
Yes, that fascinates me. That this was the top back then.
Yep. So this was the penthouse apartment.
Yes.
So this is where Levi and May, in this room right here, this is where they resided.
Wow. And you were telling me earlier that STCU literally flew in through the window this board, this beautiful table for kind of a board table, a meeting table, that sort of thing too. Mm-hmm. How fun is that to kind of come back and be in the suite that they lived in and all of that?
Yep.
Okay, this last summer you had barbecues, you had dedications, and all that, and a wonderful turnout. The community really supported Hutton Settlement. But there's something going on at the Civic Theater starting the end of this month. Who wants to talk about that?
Chuck?
Well, I will. Yeah. So the year, with this being our 100th year, yes. And it's actually 100 years to the day, November 1st, when Levi carried the first child into the Cottage One.
Wow.
So it's sort of special because the play actually will be occurring on that evening. Starting October 25th, we get to tell our story on stage, and there is no better way to tell the history and tell such an amazing dream and share the legacy than on the stage.
Yes.
And playwright Tim Rarick has been researching and writing.
He wrote this play.
He wrote this
specifically for the Civic Theater and for you, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
A Place to Call Home.
Yeah. What a fitting title.
It's perfect for over thousands of children have called it home, and now we get to see it on stage. And it's just we've learned a lot about ourselves as we've gone through this. I think Tim has taught us through his research on some of the amazing stories and impact along the way. But it's going to start on October 25th. And it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday of that weekend. Okay. And then we come back on November 1st. And then it goes November 1st, 2nd, 3rd with matinees on Sundays.
Right. Yeah,
I'm going to pass on the timing because my memory only counts. But
No,
do you know
that's
the
all right.
time?
Yes.
The exact time?
So evening performances are at 6:30.
Okay.
And then the matinees on Sunday are at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
For those of us who can't stay up late.
Myself included.
Yeah. Okay. The casting has been done. The start of the rehearsals have commenced.
Yes.
And here we go. You're what, about 3 weeks away from opening night?
We're close. We are very
Yeah.
close.
Are you getting nervous yet?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm excited because I'm not on stage.
Oh, okay.
So I get to watch it. I don't have to perform in it.
Yeah, a lot less pressure, isn't
Exactly.
there? There is. Okay, let's cut to the chase and go to what's most important, and that is, how can people get tickets? Where do they go to get tickets for this? Because this is, how many nights? 6 nights and then a couple matinees. So you're only talking about 8 or 9 performances, and then it's gone, and you've got a great lineup at the Civic Theater this fall. But how can people get tickets? Where can they go for that?
Sure. Well, you're right. This is a very special limited
Yes.
run. So tickets are important. They are selling pretty quickly.
Oh, good.
So SpokaneCivicTheater.com.
Okay.
You can go to our shows page. There's a drop down for a place to call home.
Okay.
Tickets can be purchased online. This is general admission. So you purchase your ticket. The seating is not saved for this performance.
Okay.
So
you better get your rear end there early, right? If
Yes.
you want a good seat.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, a good friend of mine is the judge, Tom MacArthur. So I try not to be judgmental on this. Okay. No. All right.
Okay.
He would expect that I would do some joke and mention him.
Yes.
But you know what fascinates me, Chud, is the fact that you were able to find and work with a playwright who did the research and really went out, and you're learning of new things. I mean, how exciting was that? Did he call every so often to keep you updated, or did you have to wait until the script was written? How did that work?
It's been a full partnership and a lot of teamwork on pulling pictures and books and articles, and he's done a lot of it. He spent time down at the MAC and just really trying to get his arms around it.
Yeah.
Spent time in the Hutton home.
Yeah.
And to really get a sense of that. That's where the play starts, is in the Hutton home.
Right.
Something else really special that I think he did that is going to make it just that much more unique and that much more of a custom production is he casted 4 of our children into the play.
Yes.
They're children that actually reside on campus.
Yes.
That will be in the play. They tried out just like any other cast that did, and they're now rehearsing and will be on stage on.
What are they saying when they get back to the settlement? Are they having fun?
Yeah, I mean, they're all in, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
The few kids that are doing it are pretty passionate about it. So
Nice.
we've heard
They're
lots
telling
of
all their
stories.
buddies and friends
Yeah.
at school and everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right. Or do you have a night you're taking all of the settlement there too?
Yeah,
Good.
opening night. So
Yeah.
all the kids will be there, our staff,
Yes.
board, and community partners.
Yeah.
Pretty special.
In the last minute we have here, let's go back and to the creation of the Hutton settlement and why it was created. Do either of you want to take that? Jessica, you know the story.
Yeah, so the history part
Yes.
of it. Yeah, so the settlement really was born out of Levi Hutton's dream to create a home for children in similar circumstances as himself.
Because he had experienced that, right?
Yeah, he was an orphan himself, and so he was a real rags to riches legend.
No
And
kidding.
He 3rd grade education, but went west and invested in the silver mine with his wife.
Yes.
Struck it rich. And after May passed in 1915,
Yes.
he really had to reestablish who he was and what his
Yes.
next chapter would look like. And the play actually is really focused on that period of his life.
Yes.
It starts with May's eulogy, and it ends with the opening of the settlement. So
Yes.
it really looks at what was it that made Levi say, "This is it. This is the time."
Yeah. There's an upcoming KSPS special on this program, and Tom MacArthur, who's kind of heading it up and so forth, mentioned that he was out at the settlement last year, and someone said, we don't know where the, what do you call it, the cornerstone is, and I guess he helped find it, and the date on there was 100 years ago that day, that on the cornerstone. Does that just tell you something?
I think it's still one of the most liked Facebook posts in
Yes,
history.
yes.
Hutton Settlement Facebook.
So you learn things when you get out there.
Yeah.
Great group of kids and all of that. Hey, thank you all and one last time, where can people get tickets?
SpokaneCivicTheater.com.
All right, I knew you'd remember that. Thanks, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
In honor of Hutton Settlement's centennial celebration, join us for a special production that brings to life the remarkable story of the Hutton Settlement. The Hutton Settlement, along with the Spokane Civic Theater, present A Place to Call Home, written and directed by Tim Rarick. When May Hutton died in 1915, her husband of 28 years, Levi W. Hutton, overcame his great sadness and then set out on a journey to fulfill a lifetime dream. A Place to Call Home tells the story of Levi Hutton's struggles and joys as he built and endowed the 100-year-old Hutton Settlement. Performances will take place on October 25th, 26th, 27th, and November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The tickets for all dates and all ages is $25 and can be purchased through the Spokane Civic Theater's box office. For questions about tickets or specifics on sales, please call the Spokane Civic Theater box office at 509-325-2507. Or for any other inquiries, please call Hutton Settlement at 509-838-2789.
Well, welcome back. I'm pleased to have a couple of beautiful ladies. Are we allowed to say that anymore? I don't know.
I think you're all right,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm all right. You never know. You know, I was born way back in that other age. When they talk about mid-century, I was before mid-century when I was born, okay? When they talk about old homes. Cara
Yes.
Kuhn,
Yes.
okay? And Alisha Benson.
Yes.
I'm going to focus on Alisha first.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And you know why? Because just a few weeks ago, you were named, what was your title?
CEO.
CEO of Greater Spokane Incorporated.
That's correct.
You've been, I don't want, this will sound bad. You've been around for a while, but I don't mean that.
No, not at all.
I
It's
mean,
all good.
you've been with GSI for a number, how many years?
12 years
12,
in January.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. So you know where all the bodies are buried and everything
A few
that's
of them
going
anyways.
a
We've
few.
been around 137
Okay,
plus
did
years.
you get a nice swanky office?
No, haven't you seen? We're under remodel right now. I'm
Oh.
still living right in the middle of the foyer.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
We're
okay.
almost done though.
Well, get going. Can't you?
We're close.
Don't you have the whip you can get out and
You
stuff?
know, just have to put a few pieces
Yeah.
together.
Now, let's go back a year or two, and what have you been doing for GSI?
Yeah.
And then we'll get to what you're doing now,
Absolutely.
okay?
For the past year, I've been the Chief Strategy and Business Development Business Development Officer for the organization.
Okay.
So I've been particularly working on our growth side of the organization
Okay.
when we think about how we optimize our role in economic
Yeah, and
development.
if we don't as organizations, we don't last.
No, exactly.
You know, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then some work across. I think that across the organization, as we
Yeah.
have really been thinking about how we live into our role of driving growth, talent, and voice on behalf of the business community.
Yeah, yeah. And so then, what, about 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I believe this is week 4.
Week 4?
I think I've been
Seems
doing my
like
math
week
this
100?
week. No, I don't. I'm trying not to count. It's better not to.
Are you doing it less than 12 hours a day?
Sure.
Sure, okay.
Yep, absolutely. Depends
okay.
on the day. Maybe on Sunday.
Truth or dare here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're now the CEO. You're in charge of everything. You have a board of how many?
We have a board of 70.
Really? Yeah.
70. Yes,
you don't
sir.
see that very often today. So many boards are small these days, and then they have advisory groups and committees that do the work and so forth. And you may or may not remember this, but 43 years ago, I was the communications manager at what was then the Spokane Chamber of Commerce, and then it became the Spokane Area Chamber of Commerce, now known as GSI, and so forth. A great way to help lead, especially in the business community. And a lot of really good things have happened the last couple of years. And I would even say to the point, in spite of some of our local civic leaders, meaning elected officials, that kind of throw roadblocks out so often, and some of them are out there saying, look what we've done, we've built great businesses, and look who's coming to town and all that. It's been GSI and others, not so much the political leaders, that have really been driving the force to see what's going on. I think of Amazon. I think of the other businesses that we see popping up all the day. What's the focus? Yes, on new business, but keeping and retaining and expanding current businesses, because it's so easy to be a business owner and go, well, yeah, but they're helping bring in, that's great for our community and great for the economy. How does that help me? But you guys really work at existing businesses. Explain that a little bit, because that fascinates me.
I mean, it's key.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the businesses and organizations that are here in our community, it's essential that we're supporting them,
Yes.
helping them grow.
Yes.
And it's essential for how you think about recruiting new people and organizations to this community. We do it through a number of different facets. I mean, so a significant role that we've played for a long time and will continue to play in a significant way is how we advocate on behalf of the business and the community as a whole, ensuring that we have a competitive environment and economy that's supporting the business community and the community that we're also passionate about, and that's work that Cara is leading on our behalf. In addition, we continue to offer a huge kind of suite of programs and services that are helping companies regardless of their size. So Startup Spokane, and being that front door to the significant startup ecosystem that many partners in the community are helping.
And some great results the last couple of years.
Results.
Really?
Yes. And it's a key kind of energy and synergy this community needs to have when we think about kind of the growth of new companies and new ideas and innovation. I think the other, we do a lot of work supporting specific companies though on accessing supports, tools, trainings, those kinds of things. We operate the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which helps businesses of all sizes do business with the government.
Yes.
Who is a significant employer across
Which
our
can be
community.
kind of scary if you don't know how to do it.
Yes.
So here we got help.
And we have a large government base here in the Inland Northwest, and so how do we make sure that our companies are able to access those opportunities and compete for important business that's jobs and putting people to work every day. And then, as we're looking at how we grow certain sectors, we're doing some really fun new work. We have had a $100,000 grant from the Department of Commerce, specifically focused on supports for the life and health sciences side of it, particularly looking at some of these kind of small to medium startup early growth companies.
Yes.
When we think about the environment we want, how are we helping companies access?
Yes.
Sometimes it's easy things. They need training. They need access to get somebody here to help them think about their company. And are we developing kinds of suites of services for different sectors of companies? Because some of those services, it doesn't matter your sector, and others it requires specific skills.
One of the things that always sticks in my mind, even back from my chamber days, is that small businesses especially, it's very hard to make your voice heard in Olympia, DC, and other places. And because you don't have the time. I mean, you can't leave your business for 2 days or 3 days, and not to mention the cost and everything else. But that's one of the things that you guys do. You go and represent us in these various government groups and so forth. The other thing I love is your innovation in terms of the next generation's coming down, okay? The business after schools, I'm probably saying that wrong, but that program and so forth. We had the group in last year. I know you've got a great lineup this year. What an opportunity for high school students especially to go and experience what it's like to work in the factory, to work in the office, to find out, because I'm sure there are some that walk away going, that wasn't what I thought. It wasn't like in the movies, you know what I mean? And really the practical side of things, and that seems like that program continues to grow.
Hugely. We're launching this week with the first series for this next kind of school year. We have 130 students out at Wagstaff Manufacturing this week.
Wow.
Who are doing innovation and technology and manufacturing.
And they've really been a leader with you to help set this up, yes.
But a few years ago, you wouldn't have 130 students thinking about careers.
Not at that age. They might second or third year of college, okay?
Yep. But it's really the key of how you're knitting together the understanding of kind of bridging the relationships between business and education, and that takes infrastructure and people, and that's really GSI's role in all of that is how we create the connectivity of those.
The other thing is we've been in the last decade or two really talking about the opportunity for all kinds of young people to get higher education, to go to college and universities. And to our detriment a little bit, that's hurt us in the trades. And there's more emphasis there now, and you guys are working with the various groups in town and so forth, because you can walk away after doing apprenticeships and so forth, making a lot more money than a lot of middle managers do, okay? And having fun. And as someone was telling me the other day, when I get to drive by, I get to point at that building that I helped build. You know, how can you point that at an office, you know? I get it. We all have different likes and abilities and so forth. But to me, I love seeing that we're getting back there. Because I've talked with builders in town and I'll go, well, why don't you build more homes? I can't get the subs I need. They don't have the people. Well, why? Can't you import them? No, we're in the same situation as Seattle and other places and so forth. There's been a shortage. And so I think we need to really pound into our high school folks and so forth that there are opportunities and choices to be made out there, because that's all part of building. And we're in a building empire right now here in Spokane. We're just about out of time. Any last comments or thanks?
Well, I think if you have 30 seconds,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I think,
yes.
Cara, maybe you could chat a little bit about when we think about, you talked about being the voice of the business community
yes.
and advocacy. Just maybe a little bit on the big .09 and at least kind of laying the groundwork for that. We can come back and talk about it more.
Yes,
and we will, because it requires some in-depth.
Yes.
But really, there are 39 counties in Washington State, and we are the only one that does not have some sort of sustainable economic development funding mechanism.
Oh, no.
We are the one of 39 that does not, and so we are launching with partners statewide an effort to add border counties, which Spokane County is,
yes,
to an already existing statute for rural counties that would essentially give Spokane County a 0.09% rebate of its sales and use tax that we can invest back into our county.
Yes.
And so we've just kicked that off in the last week. GSI has a local coalition, but we've also, through Alicia's board work on a statewide agency called WIDA, we'll be launching these programs. And
so what comes after this? Is it through the legislature?
Yes.
Okay.
So we need them to approve a bill that we had a bit of traction on last session.
Yes.
But really we'll go full court press on this session.
So do we think we have a decent chance of getting it?
We have a decent chance as any.
All right.
Well, we're coordinated and pushing
that's
forward.
The positive attitude.
Yeah.
Well, yes, let's talk a lot about that as we get close to session.
Yes.
Okay. I've got Jeff Holey coming in a couple weeks and others, but if there are people we need to invite in to ask the tough questions, we'll do that too.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Awesome.
Because these are the things that are important when we all work together as business and government and community. I think about what we did out at Miraboo Point in the valley. You know, that was a combination of government and the community getting together, and we could do great things. Look what we just are almost finished with Riverfront Park and so forth. Alisha, Cara, thank you very much. Keep up the good work and keep us posted, will you?
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The Pulse of Spokane is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Pulse of Spokane is brought to you in part by Homes for You, Well-Dressed Walrus, and Spokane Firefighters Local 29. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.